Okay, I say we get started. We have people joining us, and we're super excited to kick this Mastering Katalyst session with you all. We call it an hour of pro tips and expert guidance. I'll just kick it off shortly and go over a couple of key details, and then I'm actually going to hand it over to one of our trainers and team members here, Cameron, and she will guide us through the rest of this hour. But my name is Val. I work here at Catalyst in the marketing department. A little bit about this webinar. It's going to be roughly 60 minutes, might be a little longer, a little shorter, depending on questions that come through, but we will stay on for the full duration. This is a webinar where we want questions from you. So please don't hesitate to ask them all the way through the webinar, the session, whenever you think of something. It is the way you do it is just you go into the bottom section of your screen and you'll see a little chat window and you click in there and you type your question. You can select to send it to everyone, which we recommend because a lot of times several people will have the same questions and you can kind of get a sense of the chat. But we will be monitoring it. And you see here on the video screen, we have Isabel, we have Cameron, we have Josie. So you'll see all of us ladies in the chat helping you answering. We'll also bring some of the questions up live and actually speak to them throughout the session. So write them in. No question is silly. Just write them in. That's why we're here. And the webinar is recorded. So if you can't stay for the whole thing, we completely understand. It's the day before Thanksgiving. So we will send the recording. We will send the slides afterwards via email. So look out for that. There will be a couple of polls popping up. It's just a couple quick questions to get a sense of your experience with Catalyst and how you use the product. So please answer those. They're super short. And I think that's it. I don't want to spend more time on this slide, but actually kick it off to Cameron.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Excited to have you all here for the next little hour-ish increment of time. I am one of our care specialists here in our care department. So if you've ever written into support with a question, you have likely chatted with myself or with Isabel, who's also on this call. So excited to jump in with you guys and go through some tips and tricks to help you feel confident with Catalyst moving forward. So today we'll be covering a couple different topics. We have our guided series to talk about, our modes of training, levels and workout intensities, app navigation, fast setup of the suit, and then a general Q&A. So all really great topics and things that we feel are important to cover for our new members that may just be getting started with Catalyst or looking for a little bit of a refresher, just to feel really confident with steady footing moving forward with your Catalyst. One note that I would like to make on that Q&A is those Q&A questions will be pulled live at the end. So asking me live face-to-face, Val will pull them from the chat. So as you send questions into the chat there, Isabel will either be answering in real time, or if you don't see Isabel chat back via text, just know that that question is being saved and we will chat about it at the end on a broader scale. So everything will be answered by the end. Alrighty, getting started. Guided series. We received some really great feedback from you guys looking for some guiding or programs with your Catalyst. So just hearing that it might be difficult to decide what exercises or programs to start with or how to take them throughout your journey or whatever it may be. So we released some really great guided programs for you all. Primarily, the one that I want to highlight is our 6-week Build a Habit. So this is a really great program to do as you're getting started with your Catalyst. Its intention is to be a 6-week guide to help you build a habit as you're getting started. It also does a really great job of going through just programming and software and how to set up your Catalyst best. So really nice to have those reminders and learning kind of sprinkled in throughout those 6 weeks as well. So really great program for you guys there. I'd recommend jumping in and getting started with that if you have not already. or venturing into it in the near future. We also have some additional really great programs as you get started. We have the beginner intro program and the advanced intro program. So again, just introductory programs. The beginner will be focused more on those level 1 or level 2 workouts, whereas the advanced will be more of those level 2 or 3. So just kind of taking the path there that feels best for you as well. On top of these, we also have a lot of other great guided programs. They exist at the top of your home screen there. You're able to scroll through them. So I really recommend taking a look there whenever you're looking for guidance or a plan or just how to, yeah, move through your exercise programming. A quick little shout out as well to our content as a whole. We release new workouts every Monday. These will exist on the home screen under that What's New carousel. So, really easy to select and see workouts that are brand new that you have not done before. We also have some more series to highlight that have recently come out. We have the Building Resilient Joint series. So, that is a guided program as well, just focused on building resilient joints, working on mobility there, increasing your synovial fluid, and just getting everything really moving and grooving well in that program. We also have a really great functional fitness that just came out. Again, that beginner and advanced track. So really great to check that out as well, just to highlight those two. And then we also have two new trainers on the app. If you've been around for a minute, we've had a lot of Max and Michael here recently, and excited to see two new faces being worked in as well. So we have Casey and Moses. If you have not tried to work out with them yet, highly recommend. They're awesome. So go give them a quick look there and try their workouts and keep an eye on the app every Monday as new stuff comes out. All right, talking about our modes here, modes of training. We offer four different modes of training. We have a strength, power, cardio, and recovery modes. Strength mode is kind of what I like to say is like our bread and butter. The strength mode is going to be the mode that you're training in to really build like those building blocks of muscle and working to build muscular mass. So in that strength mode, you feel a 4 second rhythm. So you have a 4 second contraction and a 4 second release. So the suit powers on and then releases, giving you 10 total minutes of time under tension, which is really great and effective in those 10 minutes of rest, but of course, varied in that 4 second increments. Um, in these workouts, they are slow and controlled movements. So looking to do like one movement per contraction or per rep. So you're doing like one bicep curl and then resting. Again, working here just to improve strength, endurance, and muscular growth. This mode is targeting your slow twitch muscle fibers, those type 1 muscle fibers. So for any physiological nerds there, it's just fun to know. The power mode feels very super similar to the strength mode, but it is designed to target your type 2 or fast twitch muscle fibers. So this is taking those building blocks of the muscle and making it really super dynamic. So ready to move through powerful exercises like jumping, sprinting, throwing, and great for everybody. It's great for stability, for maybe elderly looking to keep balance. It's great for power in athletes. So a really great range where those type 2 muscle fibers are super important. These workouts will vary slightly in that you are not doing one move per contraction. You're cued to do a couple. So you're doing like 3 really fast overhead presses or 3 really fast bicep curls or whatever it may be. So just a little bit more of a dynamic workout than the strength, but the sensation through the suit will feel the exact same. The strength and power modes do need rest or a good amount of rest in between those two sessions. So we recommend doing a strength or a power mode workout no more than 4 times a week. That 2 to 3 times a week is really the sweet spot for most individuals. And we're looking for about 48 hours of rest between a strength or power workout. So we'll go through programming here in a couple of slides of what that may look like, but just knowing that these are not designed to do every day. The cardio mode is going to feel a lot different than those strength and power modes. This is a like consistent impulse. It almost feels like a twitching through the entire body. It's designed to be an external stimuli on the muscles. So adding that stimulation that makes the aerobic system or the cardiovascular system, excuse me, work a little bit harder aerobically to get blood out to all of those muscles that are being stimulated. So you have that constant twitching sensation. You are not getting a full muscular contraction. And because of that, you're not creating as much muscular waste, and you can do cardio sessions a lot more frequently. So these could be done up to every day or in tandem with a strength or power workout. So maybe you're doing a strength workout and then immediately going into a cardio session. Then we have our recovery mode. Recovery feels kind of similar to cardio, but it's a little bit more of like a drumming through the entire body. And this is just designed to increase blood flow and help wash out muscular waste, lactic acid, and all of that good stuff, aiding in a faster recovery. So these can be done up to every day as well, and really great to tack on to the end of a strength or a power workout. Most of these recovery mode workouts are only about 5 or 10 minutes. They vary in length. So really easy to tack one on there quickly at the end. All right. And then this is the programming I had quickly mentioned of what it may look like to program this into your week of workouts. So a week with Katalyst, we have two different outlines here. The one on the left is going to be if you are doing 2 strength or power modes a week, and the one on the right is going to be if you're aiming for those 3 strength or power modes. So you can see the column on the left, we have a power workout on day 1. We are getting that nice chunk of rest on day 2, 3, and 4 before we go back into a strength workout. And then we have that recovery workout on day 2, which again is completely okay to tack that on the next day or immediately after because we don't need as much muscle recovery for that mode. So just a little idea there to see how that may stagger into your week. Same thing over on the right, but again, looking at those 3 days of workout. So day 1, power, we have those nice 2, 3 days, day 2 and day 3 rest before heading back into a strength workout. Again, day 5 and 6, resting from Katalyst back into that power workout. And then we can see the cardio tacked in there as well where it's appropriate. All right. And then taking a look here, we get a lot of questions on individuals that want to use their Katalyst in tandem to their um, typical strength training. So if they like to go to the gym or go to CrossFit or whatever it may be. So just showing how that may fit into your week as well. We have that day 1 strength workouts. With that 10-minute cardio tacked on. Day 2 is a full rest, nothing going on. Day 3, we head into the gym for traditional strength training. Day 4, we're resting. And then day 5, back into Katalyst with a power workout. Day 6, nice active recovery day. So maybe a walk or a round of golf or a hike, whatever it may be. And then day 7, back in the gym there. So just kind of seeing how we can vary and sprinkle both things in, totally doable. And really great to take Katalyst in with your traditional strength training if you don't want it to replace your full regimen as a whole there. All right, levels and workout intensities. This is a really common topic and a frequent question that we answer here. So we have different levels of workouts that exist here. Within our app, we have levels 1 through 4. And contrary to popular belief, the level does not associate with the intensity that you're feeling through your suit, so those impulses. Rather, the levels are just indicating the complexity of the movements that are programmed in that workout. So level 1 workouts are going to be a little bit more simple in what's programmed. You're seeing more static movements, moving bilaterally both sides at the same time. So just a really great, more of like beginner level movements there. And then level 2 through 4, we see those workouts start to ramp up just a little bit. You may see movements incorporated that include balance, stability, a little bit more body awareness, dynamic movements, moving unilaterally one side of the body. So just seeing more compound and complex movements through those levels 2 through 4. Anybody is welcome to try any level. You could make a level 1 workout really super hard and intense just with your training intensity levels, which we'll chat about in a second. And vice versa, you can make a level 4 workout feel not as intense by using lower intensities there. So it's completely what you make it. These levels just kind of indicate what the trainer has outlined and has planned for you. And then with intensities, the intensity is referring to the intensity of the impulse that you are feeling throughout your suit. This is displayed in the bottom middle of each workout that you complete. So talking first just about what a good starting intensity is for everybody. We start the software by default. Males will start at a starting intensity of 82, and females will start at a intensity of 57. You are always welcome to change that intensity to whatever feels best for you, and the software will continue to adapt that starting intensity as well based on how you are manipulating the intensity throughout your workout. I'll chat about that in just a second. But just know that that is the starting intensity by default. We like to see everybody end a strength or power session at least above that 100 threshold, just because we see that is where that muscle contraction really starts to perform well. A lot of times below that 100 level, you're just kind of feeling like a tingling throughout the body rather than that tetanus or squeeze of the muscle. So above that 100 mark is where we really start to see that effectiveness there. And our intensities do range from 0 up to 480. So we have a huge range to work with there. Even if you think about it, that 5782 is a really small tick on that big long scale going up to 480. So a lot of room for growth there. Intensities also will automatically increase throughout your session. So that starting intensity that you are seeing on your screen when you enter a workout and go through your first minute of ramp, that intensity is expected to double throughout your session. So you will see that continue to increase. You will see your projected ending there. So just expect that number to double, meaning as you're getting started, it might feel a little bit on the weaker side, but know that it's going to continue to grow there. And if you are manually manipulating that intensity with those plus and minus buttons on your screen, the software will remember those adjustments that you are making, and it will adapt your starting intensity for your next session in that mode. So it gets really super smart and helps you train at a level that's best for you without needing a lot of different adjustments manually there. All right, and then going over kind of the layout of the app screen here. Over on the left is your overall intensity decrease, that nice minus button there on the left. And then we have the plus button over on the right, overall intensity increase there. Nice and kind of self-explanatory. That overall intensity is the number in the center, so nice and big, easy to see. And then your individual muscle group adjustments will exist within that channel drawer button over on the left. So we'll see what that looks like here in a second. As it's clicked, we see all of the muscle groups outlined there. So this is where you're able to see the intensity for each muscle group, which you do have the ability to go in and adjust as well. So it's completely expected that each muscle group will operate at a different intensity. Your larger muscle groups, like your hamstrings, your glutes, your quads, will need a higher intensity to get that muscle fiber recruitment than a smaller muscle group like your biceps. So this is where you would go in to make those individual fine-tuning adjustments. You also have the ability to group and adjust those intensities based on piece of the suit. So you're able to group all of the vest there. You can manually increase or decrease there with the little vest icon. And then opposingly, you have the same thing over for the shorts there next to the vest. You also have the ability to mute a muscle group or turn it off. So if there's ever a day you head in to work out and you just really don't want to work your hamstrings that day or any muscle group, you're able to turn it off just by pressing and holding that muscle group. You'll see it will gray and cross out, indicating that it's turned off. The same thing to turn it back on, just give it a nice press and hold there. You also have a auto follow button or unfollow button. So that is that little like target with an arrow sticking out on the right. This will turn off the trainer's auto adjustment. So like I had mentioned, your intensity will double or increase throughout a session. If you ever get to the point where your intensity is high enough, you're good where you're at, you don't want Max to keep hitting that plus button on his screen and turning up your intensity, you'll select that unfollow button and that will hold your overall intensity right where it's at and not allow the software to continue to increase it. We also have some really great additional features here. We are available with the Apple Watch. So the Apple Watch can be really great to integrate with your Katalyst app. It will give you your heart rate while you're training, and it will also give you those plus and minus adjustment buttons right on your wrist, which can be super helpful just to have right on you, make those quick adjustments rather than having to lean over or walk over to your iPad or iPhone and make those adjustments. So just a nice little feature to include. We also are able to AirPlay or screen mirror directly onto an Apple TV or smart TV. So that's great if you're using your iPhone as a device. You can AirPlay it right up to your TV and get a much bigger view, which can just be really convenient for training. And then, of course, available on iPhone and available on iPad as well. All right. Pairing impulse pack. This is something that we get a lot of questions about for new members that maybe have not unboxed and set up their Katalyst yet, but then also for members that maybe have been with us for a little bit but are adding a new device. So if you've been on your iPhone and you just got a new iPad, looking to add Katalyst there. So important for everybody to know and to kind of tune into here. The pairing of an impulse pack to a new device. Just going to go through the quick steps here. We like to make sure, of course, Bluetooth is turned on in your device. You can do that by going to device settings. Then we go into the Katalyst app. So important to note that pairing does not happen in device settings. It happens right in the Katalyst app. You are then taking your impulse pack and we are pressing and holding that power button on the pack until a blue light turns on, and it will start at a just a flashing speed. And we are holding that power button until that blue light goes from its initial flashing speed and then it really rapidly increases to a rapid flashing speed. So important to look for that transition from the initial blinking speed to that fast blinking speed. And once the rapid flash has arrived, you should see a pair request on your home screen of your Katalyst app asking for permission to pair. You will select yes. Or select pair, and then you will see in the upper right hand corner of your Katalyst app that nice little battery indicator showing you that the device has been paired, and then you can also see your battery life that is left there. Okay, fast setup of the suits. Let's go through it here. So wetting the suits. We have heard that wetting the suit can kind of be like the biggest barrier to using here. So we want to assure you that wetting the suit should not take more than 3 to 7 minutes. It might take a little bit longer on the first couple times you're kind of rolling through suit setup, but it should get pretty quick as you get some practice and muscle memory here. So 3 to 7 minute mark is kind of what we're looking for. When we're wetting the suit, we want to be really sure that we are using our provided spray bottle, pumping that spray bottle to create some pressure within it. And then we are thinking of injecting that pad with water. I will demo here in just a second what we want that to look like, but just making sure we're paying attention to those fine details there, using that spray bottle. And then also recommending that we are using warm water. It just makes the experience a lot more comfortable. No one wants to put on a freezing cold suit in the winter. So by injecting the pads with warm water, just makes everything a lot more comfortable. The suit's completely fine with any temperature there. You're just going more so for skin temperature, what's comfortable on the skin. So finding like a nice lukewarm temperature there as you fill your spray bottle. I'm going to transition to my other camera here and demo what we like that wetting down to look like. Okay, so I have my armband laid out here. My spray bottle I have pumped and it is full with pressure here. And then as I'm going to wet each pad of my suit, I am thinking of pressing that nozzle of the spray bottle directly into the pad. I am pressing my spray bottle and giving a nice big zigzag side to side, completely filling that pad with water. So the entire thing is filled, it's been injected, and I'm just going to make sure it has enough water by pressing into the pad with my finger, and I should see water pooling up to the surface here. So it is nice, thoroughly soaked. Um, we like to see that more than a hover away and spraying from way out here. We just see a lot better absorption as we really press that nozzle into the pad there. So nice, fully soaked. We will do that with each pad of the suits. And I would make my way through the vest and the shorts as well. Okay. All right. And we are going to go through the ideal suit fit and how we like to suit up from the vest and the shorts as well. When we are suiting up, we're looking for a really nice, snug compression. Compression and moisture are the two most important things in an effective EMS session. So, looking for that nice, snug fit, we want it to feel hugged without hindering blood flow or breathing, but should feel really hugged in and tactical there. Um, I'm going to stand up here and grab my vest and we'll do a full demo of how we like to suit up, just get everything seated on the body. So my suit is connected as everyone should be. We have the vest and the shorts connected with those two buckles, and all of my straps are completely loose. So we are going on here. And I'm going to take one added little fun tip as well. I like to keep my armband attached just to the Velcro of up by my shoulders here. That just keeps it with the suit as it hangs to dry. It's just a nice little place to keep it. So I'm going to take my vest and I am zipping it up here. The vest gets zipped up first. We then take the waistband of the shorts, and those are going to go on below the vest. So it is across my low hips, lower than I typically wear my jeans, and below or just overlapping the bottom of my vest just because of my torso length here. So I'm going on using that Velcro and then using the waist adjustment strap here, getting a nice snug hug in. And then I'll do my thighs next. So my thighs are not let out there. All right, so I've opened up my adjustments. They're fully let out. And I am reaching over, just clipping those in. And then before I tighten them down, I am pulling that pad down towards my knee. So it's on a little bit of a narrower part of the thigh. It's not up towards my groin. We're seated just about in the middle of the quad there. So I'm pulling down towards the knee, then rotating up towards the outer thigh. And then I'm tightening it down there. So it is seated right on the top of my thigh. I'm getting a nice hug in there. And I would do the same thing with the other side. So we did waist, clip in, pull down to the knee, rotate out, and then cinch it in. I would then go to my vest. I'm going to give my vest a nice little tug down toward the hips. And then I start adjusting with the side straps with the ones closest down to the hip here. So I'm pulling forward, cinching in, just like a corset, getting everything nice and snug. Got all 8 of those in here, and then finishing with the shoulders. So shoulders pulling down on those D-rings, cinching in and giving that nice adjustment there. And then I do have some added or some fabric kind of cinched up at the shoulders here. And I'm just sticking my finger under that buckle and pulling that extra fabric down and forward. Sticking my finger in, pulling it down, tucking it in there. Finishing with the arm strap. We take that arm strap and fold the electrodes in towards each other like a little taco. And then I am weaving my elastic through that D-ring. So I have a nice loop made here. Putting it on, the easiest way is to keep this extra little tab towards the center line of the body. So as I slip my arm through, the inside of my bicep here is open, so that is that extra elastic. And then I'm cinching down from there. So there is not an electrode pad directly over the inside of the bicep here, but I'm getting good coverage through the outer 3/4 of it, giving a nice snug tug down, feels nice and hugged. And we can see those two buttons out on the tricep. That is where the arm cables will attach here up to the shoulder, and everything is nice and connected there. So arm straps, that's a really common question that we like this inside to be that open part. All right, just gonna quickly,
Cameron, while you are still in the suit, I just want to highlight a
yeah,
question that came up. So, can you actually redo and maybe closer to the camera where the belt should hit relative to the vest? So I think you kind of went through it,
yes.
but maybe even a little closer. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's probably hard to see my black on black from far away too. So my belt is right here. It is across my very low hips and it is underneath the vest here. If I were to wear it where I wear my jeans, it would be way up here, but we are across the very low pelvis there. Good there.
Nice. Thank you,
Okay.
Cameron.
Yeah. All right. And then I'm just loosening everything back out before I take it off and hang it up. If I just done a workout, I want to hang it somewhere well ventilated so that it can dry out. And I even like to flip my suit inside out then to hang. So my electrodes will face out and I just stick it on a hanger, and it hangs right on my door. So well ventilated place, just letting it all air out. Okay, moving on, next slide here. Okay, so all of those steps that I just went through do exist right in the app. The very first time that you logged into the app, you saw that screen over on the left asking to go through the begin suit setup. So that begin suit setup would take you step by step through everything I just said, or you selected to skip and view workouts and go right to the home screen. Either one, totally good. Um, you always have the option to go back to this get ready guide and review those steps. You can do this by going to the more tab over in the lower right hand corner of the screen. You'll see the get ready guide existing there, and you can always click into that. This will just take you again step by step. It's with Michael. He goes through how to prep the suit, how to put everything on and adjust it. And it's really nice because you're able to select the different stages that you would like to view, or you could watch it all top to bottom. But just really nice and convenient if you're looking for one step of like, how did those armbands go on again? You can scroll and find just that armband segment and click into it. So a really nice resource for you guys to have to go back and review. Okay, suit longevity. Quickly touched on it there of making sure we loosen straps before we take the suit back off. We're hang drying between sessions, making sure we're not sticking it back in a box or a drawer. We want everything to dry fully before we do that. You are able to wash both the base layers and the suits. The base layers we recommend to wash on a delicate cycle, cold water, gentle detergent, and they can go in the dryer. I recommend hang drying them, just so they have a little bit of a longer lifeline there. It's like your athletic wear. So if you're able to hang dry it, recommend it. If not, the dryer's fine. It's not going to destroy them. And then the suit itself can also be washed. We recommend a laundry bag for each piece if you're able to. If not, just keep everything zipped and cinched up so it's not completely sprawled open there. With washing the suit, again, cold water, gentle cycle, gentle detergent, and then it does not go in the dryer. So the suit will hang dry. And the suit does not have to be washed after every session. In fact, we don't recommend that. It is antimicrobial, so it will never stink. But you may start to notice after a couple months seeing like some sweat marks up around the neck or the shoulders. It just looks a little dirty, might need a little freshen up. that's a great time to wash it. So really should only be washed maybe once every quarter, once every 6 months, whatever works best for you, but not something that's getting washed multiple times a week or after every session. Um, Pro tips, drawing the pads inside out. I said that before as well. And keeping the buckles and zippers closed, and then just keeping it in a good, safe spot as you're storing it. We have some really great resources available as well within our YouTube channel. So we have a whole playlist of pro tips that quickly walk through some frequently asked questions that we get. So really great to check those out there as well. Again, that getting started guide is available for you within the app. We also have our care team, Isabel and myself, available for one-on-one sessions. You're welcome to book those on Zoom, and we will meet to discuss any training questions you may have, go through the fit of your suit, troubleshoot, or whatever may be needed. But we're always available for those as well. And then we do have our Katalyst chat, our chat bot available on the website. And that's really great for quick, immediate responses available for you there too. All right, Q&A.
Let's do it, Cameron. I'm gonna stop sharing for a little bit so we can have this a little bigger. Okay, so definitely good questions, and I see a lot of responses from Isabel and Josie in the chat. Thank you, ladies. Okay, no particular order, but I'm going to highlight a couple more. Um, Here's a really interesting one. How do you gauge how high to go for a newbie? So I think intensity wise, to effectively work your body, this is someone that's been pretty active before starting with Catalyst. And the last part mentioned is because the sweat that you get after a calorie session might be less than traditional workouts. How do you gauge how high to go in the intensity settings is basically the question. Pretty
Yeah,
individual, but maybe we can speak to it in kind of high level.
yeah, totally. So, yeah, gauging those intensity levels, it's a little bit of a learning curve, honestly, to find where you're going to sit best there. So what I would recommend as you're heading into your first sessions is just going with the predetermined starting intensity for you. What you should be feeling through the body as you're getting started are even contractions throughout the full suit. So you should feel every muscle nice and evenly. If you're not, go into that fine tuning channel drawer and adjust different intensities there. But we're looking for something that feels even. You're feeling that tetanus and pickup squeeze of the muscles and that release. So moving past that tingling sensation. And we're looking for something that feels challenging but doesn't feel like it's not possible. So as we're getting towards the end of a session, we should feel pretty gassed of we're at the end of our tank, but you're still keeping good range of motion within those movements. So you're still able to do a full bicep curl or a full deadlift without getting kind of stopped in your tracks there. Um, After a session, after a day or two, we should be feeling some muscular soreness, nothing again that feels debilitating or way too far, but something that feels like your muscles worked. If you're not feeling that, then that's a great indicator that in your next session, maybe you're turning intensities up a little bit and kind of feeling and finding that spot where everything feels a little bit more challenging for you.
Thank you. Actually, a question on that theme just that came in from Olivia. Is it normal to feel the intensity of the impulses on one side of the body more than the other?
Yeah, so that is a common sensation. Our bodies most often are not even from left to right, whether it be from injury or carrying a child around on one side or whatever it may be. The left and right sides of the body can be really super different, both in strength and just muscular mass. So, pretty common to feel those muscular imbalances from left to right side. And hopefully over time, you feel that start to diminish as Catalyst kind of overrides that typical neural pathway in your brain and get everything nice and even from both sides there.
Great, thank you. Um, there's a couple questions that come in. You can send them publicly so everyone will see them, and some that are private. So I'll bring some of those up as well, kind of here on this forum. This is a pretty common one, but how do I know? sorry, how do I trigger my calves or forearms considering there's no pads covering those muscle groups? How does that
Yeah.
work?
Yes. So the calves and forearms are indirectly stimulated. Our electrode pads are strong enough to stimulate muscles and parts of the body that are not directly covered by a pad. So we are still getting stimulation through the forearms, through the calves, both through the nervous system spreading throughout there. Nerves are stimulated, and then also through programming within your workouts. You'll be working against the resistance that is being placed on the different muscle groups to train the calves and the forearms there too.
Okay, perfect. Let's see, a couple more here. Oh, how this is a little on the travel element, and maybe people are traveling for the holidays and everything, so kind of topical. How do I wet my pads if I forget my spray bottle? If it's a little too
Yes.
big to bring along. Is there any tips and tricks?
Yeah, tips and tricks for wetting there while traveling. Um, a little handy trick, I guess, might be a little, I don't know, silly, but any water bottle you have that has like a pressurized cap is really great. So those like Gatorade twist bottles or whatever it may be, are really great, or even just taking a regular water bottle and popping a hole in the top. Anything that can give you that pressurized stream is really great. And that would be what we would recommend to use there.
Awesome. That's a great little pro tip.
Yes.
Um, let's see. I'm checking the chat as well if anything comes in live, and feel free to send them in even at the end here. We'll stay on to answer everything. But here's another one. Oh, what are some optimal and great ways to recover after a Catalyst workout? From our end, kind of what I recommend. I know we talked about kind of the, 2 to 3 days in between strength and power workouts, but any recovery methods that we recommend?
Totally. Yeah. So, of course, we have our recovery mode. That's going to be most recommended to use either at the end of a session or on your off day. Other recommendations would be anything that is helping to increase blood flow and just get everything moving to those muscles to aid in recovery. So, even just walking or hiking, gentle yoga, saunas are really great. Anything that is moving the blood around the system, helping to flush out that lactic acid and muscular waste.
Okay, lovely. Here's actually a question just hot off the press that just came in. It goes, this might be obvious, but where you feel the most muscle fatigue afterwards, is that pinpointing the weaker areas of your body? For example, I noticed my traps on one side were sore for a couple days. Um, is that true? Is that myth, coming from a
Yeah.
trainer expert?
I mean, you could look at that a couple different ways. It could either be maybe those individual muscle group intensities were turned up a little bit higher, um, challenging those muscle groups, or it could be that those are weaker areas. So I noticed the same thing, my traps and the very inside of my quad, just because I have a knee injury, are areas that get really super sore for me because those aren't areas that I typically train in a normal strength session, and they get picked up in that hidden world of Katalyst and working, whether you want to work them or not, they are there. So yeah, it could be those are your weaker areas that have finally gotten a really super great workout, or it could be maybe just intensities there were a little bit higher than you typically train at.
And I see here, thanks. That is very helpful. Great. Thanks, Cameron. I might jump us back. I think those are the questions. We've been super active throughout the webinar. So I might just jump us back into the slides. And then that's another couple minutes for any final questions to pop in. And then maybe we'll round it off here.
Perfect. All right. I want to give a quick shout out here to our podcast that we have been putting out. This is a podcast, Transformations. It is hosted by our founder and CEO, Bjorn. Really great podcast to listen to our real members that have been using Katalyst for varying amounts of time, and hear about their experience. And I've made this kind of comparison before. It can be interesting to listen to podcasts and feel influenced to buy or use a product that they're promoting on that podcast, but it is so cool to listen to a podcast like this and know that you already have the product that they're talking about and you can already use it in the same ways that they're chatting. So it's really inspirational to listen to and hear those real life applications. We have interviews with a menopause physician who uses it personally and also has been recommending it to her patients. We have a cancer survivor and just a lot of really great different stories. So if you're ever looking to learn more about Katalyst or our members there, I really recommend giving those a listen. We also have all of our social channels that we would love for you to connect with us on. We are active on all of them, our Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and TikTok. We also have recently started on Reddit as well, answering questions there. So a lot of different ways to kind of get a hold of us and also interact with our content there.
I
All
think
right.
that I think that closes it out for today. I'll let you wrap it up. We'll just say thank you and remind for a couple of things. Thank you everyone for joining. We're almost at the hour mark, so we do have a few more minutes that we can stay on, but I also want to give you guys time back to prep for the holidays and get ready and maybe squeeze in a workout before the long weekend. But this is all recorded. The deck will be sent through via email. And again, I think we're all super grateful that you guys are joining and being so curious and inquisitive and just asking us questions. That's why we're here. And thank you, Cameron, for leading us through this wonderful hour. And
Yes.
I'll let you close it out for us.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you for having me and letting me do this. These are so fun to hop on and uh, do every time. And really great to have you all join us as well. Thank you for taking an hour out of your day. And please always feel free to reach out to us at support in chat, give us updates or any questions that may come up after this webinar as well. We're always here for you guys. So thank you and have a great holiday ahead.